Hi everyone. Thank you all for coming here. My name is Vivian. I'm very excited to host this artist talk for our exhibition Embodiment. And this exhibition marks the close of 2025 and the opening of 2026 with a lineup of 16 very talented artists. And tonight we're honored to have 7 of them join us to share their practices and ideas behind the artistic journeys. So before we dive in, let's give them a round of applause. Thank you. So I will start with Theresia.
Yes.
Yeah, so your work often feels very cinematic and almost feels like a still from a film. And it can also bring up visual memories connected to illustration. So could you talk a little bit about your practice? What are these visual associations come from, and what is the inner drive that keep making work?
Okay, so actually, as most artists do, I have a lot of different inspirations. Instead of like saying illustration, I would like to use the word illustrative for all of my practices because I have an illustration background. I've used to work for like commercial illustrations and that kind of field. I graduated from illustration department and then switched to paintings. So the biggest differences in my mind between illustration and painting is where you as an artist is at, where you're located in that painting. And for me, all of this like cinematic scenes actually represents a immersive experience that me myself as an artist can dive in, and I think that experience is extremely important in my practices, and also it's important in how I construct a scene in all of my paintings. So for like inspirations, actually a lot of my work, or like most of my works, are literature inspired. It's not just from like cinema, or like from like I do look at a lot of like stage art, like musical theater, that kind of stuff. But the key point is they are all narrative, because I do believe in the boundaries of the world is the boundaries of languages and cognition. And by reading these books, by reading what other people's writing, expands my cognition. And that's when I'm trying to like visualize what other people say in my head. That's where that I think that's where the overlap of a like of me as an artist and my outside world happens. So I guess that kind of like cinematic
Mm-hmm.
feeling that people have while looking at my art is when they feel the connection of themselves within the world I created, just as me feeling that connection with the writers that I was inspired from.
Mm-hmm.
So I I read a lot of stuff. I'm not gonna brag about it, but it's just like I have like endless inspirations from all texts from like stories from every culture that I can find, as long as I can read them.
Mm-hmm.
And I do read from other languages as well, and I do read from like any culture. If I'm interested in something, I will choose one of their writings and read about what they are thinking. But usually, because like I can't speak any languages in the world, so most of the time, um, this kind of relationship happens through a translator,
Mm-hmm.
and that translation or that translator is actually the other one, representing what they are thinking and what they reflect over the original text, just like what I do in my paintings. I am fully comprehending myself in the text, or like just like using those texts as a reflection of myself.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
It almost feels like you're visualizing those texts.
Yes, yes, yes. But with full respect of the original text, and even if it's through a translator, I fully respect what the translator was thinking as well.
I think all of the artists in this show, they all have very distinct artistic language. So among the artists in this show, is there anyone that you feel like particularly like drawn to, that you want to have a very deep conversation with?
I really like Ziyan Mei's work. I would nominate her because, first of all, we all have a similar background in illustration, and actually we've known each other for about 2 or 3 years, and this is the first time we actually meet in person in this show. And I admire her work for a long time. I've been following her online, and but I still want to know what she's really thinking while she's creating her amazing work. So can I ask her?
Yeah, of course.
join us?
Yeah.
Thank you, Theresia, to nominate me. So
Yeah, I'd love to hear your conversation.
okay, since we also have the similar background from the illustration, and one thing I think is very different from illustration towards fine art is when I'm in illustration major, I'm mainly focusing on to create a very beautiful image. It's kind of like I make things beautiful, and I have beautiful image. I have beautiful figure in my image, but in the fine arts, I feel like I want to create something ugly, like a little bit ugliness in the sort of beautiful things, and the tiny little ugliness is the main goal what I'm trying to create in my work. And so sometimes I purposely to painted the wrong brushstrokes or the color in my work to see what is going on, what's going to happen in my painting. And the reason I did this is also like I want a motivation to push me to finish this piece. And if everything goes very smoothly, I feel like I'm getting bored quickly. So I just making some mistakes to make myself have the motivation to fix it.
This is super interesting, but we'll come back to you because yeah, I do want to know more about why do you want to create ugliness instead of beautiful things. But that's like a arbitrary, when we define beauty and ugliness, right? Yes, but I want to move to Shelly actually for the next question because we really want to know more about your performance practice, especially during the opening night. You had this performance, which is really fantastic performance. So I want to understand, what is this like a school desk mean to you? And there is a certain kind of sense of cuteness in your work. So can you tell us more about this cuteness?
So for I think I can break it down to I wanted to give a little bit background for in case anyone who didn't see the opening performance.
Yeah.
But basically, I have prepared a school desk, and I curve on top of it saying writing in Mandarin Chinese. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. It's all my fault. And then I perform it by carving down like I'm sorry. It's kind of all my fault. Like in both Mandarin and English. And then like in the end, I apologized to all of the audience in the room and gave them a reward sticker that you usually will give to kids, and then invite them to put a sticker back on the table. And so for me, I think a lot of my works, I came more from performance and video art for my MFA practice. And I think there's a really, like I usually kind of back my work back to how like what is like me like nowadays, like, and I think a lot of them came from childhood, and I think that's really like everyone talks about childhood trauma so often now. But I do think it's a huge topic in the contemporary work, and I do wanted to highlight that as I'm living in the era. And so for me, I think school desk means like disciplinary, and also like not like things that you were born with, but like things you were being imposed by society or other people when you're growing up.
Yeah.
And I do think a lot of those things really makes like become a scar in you. And to kind of relate back to the choice for cuteness, and I think it's the same coin but different size. It's like I feel like as an Asian female, I mean, I kind of do dress cutely, I guess, but like I'm not used to like that. I really hate the word cute for a really long time, and I felt being called cute is a really diminishing way of like judging a female. Like people will really demeaning you, like think you're smaller, not as important, and but also it's a way to really kind of restrict you in a box so that you like act in a certain way, like you act properly, you act like thoughtfully, and I think it's a thing that's really common, but in the same time cuteness culture is also really prevalent now. Like I think the resurgence of Hello Kitty and all of the plush toys and then the soft toys, you can see that we also do need that softness to kind of heal ourselves and make ourselves feel better. So I think it's the duality of the cuteness that really drawn me to making more cute work. Because I feel like all of my work, if you actually look at them, none of them like it's really cute, or like the message behind it, it's not really about cuteness. It's more about like, but I think I'm trying to use a really denial way to like convey a lot of the hard feelings or the things that I thought that I was being trained with in a subtle, kind of like a passive aggressive way, I would say.
That's super interesting. So when you're talking about there is a cuteness in your work, if I can pick one of the cutest work, I would say is the blue one, right? So there is a message behind it. What's the message behind this cuteness?
I think so. I had a really interesting conversation with my friends before, and because they're saying that yes, you are shouting not cute, but like you like when people see your work, they will think it's cute. And how do you deal with that? And I think at the end of the day, I'm making a work like out of my genuine desire for expressing my feelings and my things that I don't think is tangible, that I don't think is appropriate to express in a normal setting. So for me, I think like scars and pain and even blood, it's not really appropriate, especially in a cute setting world. So I'm kind of like being a little bit passive aggressive about it too. So like I am using really traditional female related craft like embroidery to kind of decorate the fact that it's like a scar and pain. But essentially I think it's up to people how they wanted to feel about it.
So maybe every cuteness behind beneath it there is a scar. I think one of the major thing of our artist talk today is actually encouraged artists, you guys to have a conversation among yourselves.
Yes.
So among the artists, who do you want to have a conversation with?
Is it okay that I don't choose one?
Of course.
I really think this is an interesting show to see personally. Especially I feel like there's like Theresia, Ziyan, and also Nanxing. I think we are all kind of feeling and Chandra, her work is back. Yeah, but that's okay. I just want to bring back. And then I feel like we're all like female in for similar age, 20 to 30. And I do think we have something that's very unique that's offering to our world that's really different from like other generation. And I do think usually our voice is not that openly, like we won't be heard as usual. So I think I feel like it would be fun to have conversation as a group about like their challenges and how like I mean I think the ugliness is really important.
Yeah.
And I definitely want to know more about. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll come back. We'll come back to that.
Yeah.
I assure you. So thank you so much. Let's welcome Nanxing to come back again. Yes, I'm Theresia. Thank you so much. Yeah, because we have very limited space, we have to rotate this. Nanxing, yes, we also want to ask you to walk us through your thought process while making your work. And when you think about color and materials and the recurring sense of home or nostalgia that appears in your compositions.
So I think for me, painting is a way of thinking because if I try to write something, I usually will like hide my real thoughts. I don't want my real thoughts to appear through words. And then I discovered that when I finish my painting, and then I will start to look at them, and I think my true thoughts will, or like the true thoughts in my subconscious will appear in my paintings. And as for the material, I use the mineral pigments. They're like natural rock powders, and I mix them with rock powders, and then I use my fingers to mix them very well. And during this process, I think myself also becoming part of my paintings. And for the large landscape painting I did over there, it's based on a real space in my hometown.
Is that big one that is
Yeah,
the
it has
golden
like
leaf?
it has like the yellow bamboo on it.
I was looking at it. I thought it's a Beijing Putong, like a Siheyuan. Is it?
I'm from Shantou, so it's like from the south part, but it's also similar like Beijing Siheyuan.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
okay.
called 四点金.
Oh.
Yeah, and so I saw the antiquity store in a very well-known building in my hometown, and then every object in the store is like very familiar for me because I grew up, I saw those things in my grandparents' house. But in the store, they're like all placed very randomly. So when I was in the store, the feeling is very mixed for me because I came to the USA at the age of 15, and whenever I went back to China, I feel like my memory is blurry because everything I saw, it's different than what I remembered, and it's like the same feelings the store gave me. That's why I chose to turn it into a painting. And because plants are a very big part of my childhood, because my father and my grandma, they both love growing plants. That's why I decided to kind of want to make the bamboo more like pop out. So I choose like a more quiet blue as the background.
Yeah, I love that painting, by the way, because I feel like it's very, it has the sense of everyday life, like with all of the objects on display. Yeah, it feels just very, nostalgia. Yeah. So, do you have anyone you want to have a conversation with?
I want to ask Mike, what's your decision of the colorful oil pastel images? Because I feel like they are very different than the more like the person drawing.
For a while, I tried to do more like figurative works, and it was only like black and white. It was only graphite, or it was either charcoal. And recently, like starting this year, I started to paint more. I wanted to try out different art mediums, and I thought that, okay, pastels might be a new beginning. It's not a wet medium, it's something where I can just put it on, let it dry, and if I don't like it, I can just erase it. I can just like put more on it. That's the reason why I chose colors.
Okay. Yes. Misheel, you're the second time join us for the group show, right? Last year you joined the group show, and we're really happy to have you back. And I want you to introduce yourself a little bit more about your background and your ideas of the social problems you want to address, and also I want to ask about the medium as well, because you use you primarily work with charcoal and paper. So what does this medium mean to you?
So my name is Misheel. I come from Mongolia. I'm half German and half Mongolian, and I was raised there. I went to college in Ohio, and I went there to do physics. In my second year, I decided to do art. My parents are not happy about it, but after a while, I got to convince them to help me, like, follow my dream. Because if you believe in me, I can do it. I can do whatever I can.
Yeah.
And I think at a certain point, my parents just gave up and were like, you know, fine, you do your thing.
They're okay now, right?
Yeah, they're okay now. I like to use charcoal because it's a medium where I can be very free with. It's something that I can work as big as I want or as small as I want. Something I can move around with. Just pick a block of charcoal and put in wherever I want. What my feeling, what my emotions are. And primarily, I work with charcoal because I like to depict things in life that's black and white, happy, sad. Where I decided to make art was when people around my life, they started committing suicide, and I didn't know why. I couldn't understand it. I didn't talk about it. My parents didn't talk about it, or my culture didn't talk about it. They said it's just a mistake. It was something that a demon might have taken over you, you know.
You mean it's a social problem in Mongolia?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I remember writing an essay in high school about why are people doing this, and it wasn't a very big impact in my life, and I was just like, huh, okay, cool. And then my little brother committed suicide, and I thought, now what? Like, now do I get more mad? Do I ask more questions? Do I do something? And that's when I figured that, okay, I can do it with art. I can give them a photo of a person hanging. Do you want to talk about it then? Does it give you more of a space to engage in a topic where you're afraid to talk? And so for a while, my works like that on the walls were people that I've known who are in the moments of doing an act, and I wanted all the pastels to represent how I remember them, what their childhood was like, how something that they have buried deep down as a kid is coming out in the last moment. And that's where my artistic journey is right now.
It's very powerful. Yeah, you're talking about a kid part as the draw like a watch on the. Yeah, I was looking at it. I really like laughed. I think I remember when I was a kid, I probably did the same thing. Yeah. But
and I like to see what I can do just being free. You know, sometimes I've never really made like a composition drawing until I started my elementary program this year. And now all my professors are like, do a composition study, do this, do a value study. I'm like, why do I need to? But I understand that my works were very, when I felt that I needed to draw something, I just went in and I drew that. I didn't think twice. I didn't think if putting a pastel would be destroying it. Whatever. Put it on.
yeah, there are very stark contradictions like in your work. The black and white, very heavy topic, and there is a like a graffiti sort of childish elements on it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Do you have anyone you want to have a conversation with in this show?
I would like to have a conversation with you.
It's Xianglong.
I've known you for about 2 years. Yeah. But I've never really had a full-on conversation about your artistic journey and what you like to do. And I look at Instagram sometimes. I go through your Instagram, I'm like, that's a cool one. And I'm like, no way he did that. And it's like that fire graffiti one that you had. It was like a car burning. How does your artistic journey begin? What do you think? And what drives you to do art?
Yeah, that's a really by Jack Lacan. You probably know this person.
Check Lacan.
Yeah,
Okay.
Lacan.
Mhm.
And there's one of concept called the big other. So the big other is referring to the abstract symbolic system that shapes people's subjectivity. So it could be the other could be an invisible structure, and the other could be an invisible they or God that human beings always performing for.
Mhm.
So back to the reality, I think life just like a movie. So everybody just be a good person, like we have a good manner, and everybody just want to be more better before yesterday. So, but in my way, who define like how successful to be like a one person? So back to my painting, why I'm always talking about destroy and shitty things happening in my painting. It's about I'm always go finding the truth of my life. So because most people are talking about the future,
Yeah.
the modern life, but for me, I only want back to my childhood, just to be the cool people, the some bad ones, some some motherfuckers, bad person in the student, but it's most interesting people in the school, in the neighborhood, in the community. So this is my it's all
Drive.
about my drive.
You're talking about Lacan because I think you're saying that the idea of others, that everybody's life is constructed by the other, like what kind of school you go to, and what kind of regulation you should follow, what kind of law you should follow, things like that. And I think you're looking for the real, like the part that it belongs to yourself only. Don't restrained by anything else. But is this what you want?
Yeah.
Because I see a lot of Black humors in your work. Is this like all of this? So you sort of juxtapose everything together randomly for a lot of viewers to think. Is this the way for you to kind of creating your own rules?
Yeah. So I would like to create my really inner self of Xianglong sport in my painting. So I'm not like the person who I'm sitting at here and talking like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is the fake one.
Yeah, this is a fake one. So yeah,
I relate to that.
yeah.
So which one is the real one then? The one that in painting?
The one in painting.
It's the real one. The very bad kid.
Yeah.
The burn the cars and the
Yes.
burn the world. Okay.
I think everybody just have this to be a bad people in sometimes. Yeah.
That's very fun. Okay. So since you're here, so I'm gonna ask you: is there anyone else you want to have a conversation with in this show?
I think we can resonate with each other.
Yeah.
From the painting or
Yeah, I feel like
it looks like.
when you said that what you see right here is not the real me.
Yeah.
It's a true thing too, because as artists you have to sort of act a certain way. You have to compose yourself in front of other people, and you have to, I don't know, market yourself right now. Because I feel like, to me, being an artist, you're not supposed to really market yourself. But we're all here today because we all have to have this talk. We all have to have this procedure done, right?
Yeah.
It's a world that we live in. However, how much are you willing to show? How much to the world are you willing to show through your own works, and how much are you willing to show through in person?
We can be a good brand.
Okay, that's a very deep conversation. I like that, but thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I want to move on to the next question. So yeah, I have to ask you back. I'm sorry. Yeah, let's welcome Ziyan back. Yeah. So you talked about you like to create ugliness earlier, which is super interesting because I think all of you guys actually talk about those two sides of nature. One part of we have to present to the world. Another part is I want to be the real self. So can you talk a little more about the ugliness you wanna sort of express in your work?
Okay, sure. Because first of all, I think perfect is very boring. That's one
Perfect
thing.
is very boring. I agree
Yeah,
with that.
yeah. The reason I switched my major from illustration to fine art is one of these. I make myself boring to create a perfect painting or drawing. Even if my professor asks me about this or the uh, audience asks me about this to do something very perfect, something very delicate, then I feel like that's not what I want. So actually, I try something to twist the figure and the face in my illustration work, and I post it online and get a lot of hatred because they think I'm doing something. I feel like it's challenging their acoustic.
The status quo.
Yeah. So, because I do something related to anime, I do some animated figure and the animated style, and that type of audience who accept the animated style doesn't really want me to make them ugliness. So, yeah, that's what I feel from like I try to be myself. I try to do something what I am interested in, but the online person, uh, like, like the sound from the outward, does it really affect me or does really destroy me? I think it's no, because I feel like the angriness I want to impose in my work really trigger them to attack me, and I feel like it's very interesting, and I decide to continue to do this in my fine art work. Yeah. And also Theresia have the similar experience with us. We both getting a little bit hatred to creating something uh, ugly in our work. So I like to her to share her idea about this.
Okay. I'm not done with your question yet. I have one more question. But yes, I will give you a chance to talk about this. You talk about your trainings in illustration. So what skills or way of thinking have you intentionally kept in your fine art practice? And on another hand, what strengths from the background did you feel you needed to let go of and consciously rethink?
Something I still kept is the way I doing the composition, I guess.
The way of what?
The way to deal with the composition in my work. I always do a lot of thumbnail sketches to confirm the composition before I move into the final version. Unlike a lot of other fine artists, they do something with their own emotion or is just getting flowed up to the canvas. I always been prepared a lot. That's what the habit I kept since I was in the illustration major. And something I let it go is just like I mentioned, the perfectness in the illustration work. Yeah, it's kind of like almost everything.
That's good. So you have questions for Teresa?
Yeah.
Okay, so about that unpleasant experience, I think it's more about like people's idea over art and whether they think they are the audience or they are the consumer. So I guess because we were both from that illustration field where we did stuff for other people, and when it transferred to the fine art world, we find that little bit gap of it's like again where we are and whether we want the image or like the message we express in our images to be direct,
Mm-hmm.
to be pretty, to be easily comprehensible, or to just need to be slowed down and rethink about whether a piece of art is worth to be looked at or look at once. So I think for everybody, if you're an artist, that's the thing you need to think about, especially when you have this problem drawing something extra pretty. I mean, I got a lot of like comments of my paintings are extremely beautiful. I take that. I am someone who likes prettiness,
Mm-hmm.
and I like aesthetic. I like beautiful stuff. But one thing that I keep in mind every time when I'm painting, I'm trying to find that like unstable moment, that moment that feels like something wrong is gonna happen within that pretty sense of, you know, polished field.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why we are friends, because we all are a little bit rebellious. We are a lot rebellious than doing something pretty, and we love being pretty, being cute, but there's more thing to look behind.
Mm.
Yes.
Thank you. That's really wonderful. So we have one more artist. We need to have this talk. Let's welcome Xiangni. Xiangni, yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Since we're talking about, I feel like tonight's the major thing is how do we see beauty? How do we see the prettiness? How do we see ugliness? So Xiangni, I want to ask you, do you get this a lot? Like your work is beautiful, or how do you feel if someone says that to your work?
I accept all kinds of feedback, and I appreciate I would take this as a positive feedback when people say it's beautiful, because my goal of creating any paintings from my aspect is to both to be imagery like interesting and also visually pleasing. So that's meeting my purpose. And but I usually trying to hide some like hidden informations into the painting. When people get closer, they will find the weirdness and odd parts of it. And also I like to use a weird color to people's human skins. Yeah.
So is this a way for you to say this to against the idea of being pretty, or like,
No, I don't against it. I accept it. Yeah, I accept any feedbacks. Yeah.
I do realize that you use a lot of like really weird colors on the human skin.
Yeah.
So why do you take this practice?
So I think I need to go all the way back to where I started doing paintings. And so I got inspired by a teacher, one of the teacher. He was like saying that when you do live paintings, you should not just depict what you see, because you should know there's are a lot of colors within the air. Like when the light is hitting it, there's a lot of not just like lighting aspects and shadows. There's multiple colors in the shadows. So that's where I get it from. So I trying to do things like more complicated, and then reaching a point that I wanted to do both colorful stuff, but also you can recognize it, and you can also see that from an Asian artist. So, and also I got funny feedback from the past, that people saying that I'm doing poison person. It's like, yeah, great, poison.
You do like poison.
Yeah, poison person.
Yeah, that's great. So do you have anyone in this show you want to have a conversation with, artist?
Yeah, do you have the artist doing the chair here today?
She's not here.
Not here? Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Then I guess I will pass the question
Okay.
section. All right.
Okay. Well,
I would like to see like the major hatred I received for my experiment is your character has a very weird skin tone. It looks like a zombie.
Zombie.
Yeah.
Good.
So I feel like it's very interesting to see you also do the weird skin tone, weird colors. So I feel like we're sort of connected
I
together.
followed
yeah.
her because she paints zombie skin.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I like to do poison person. Yeah, and not just zombie, but poison person.
Yes. Maybe this is a yeah, but anyway, thank you guys for sharing all of the ideas and the wonderful insights about your work. It's been wonderful talking to all of you, and thank you, our audience. Thank you so much.
Thank you.